Hey guys, this is Bridget, and today I'm going to be talking about what's been going on with me in my spiritual journey. So thus, it's kind of like a vlog, what I'm going to be doing, but there's a lot of really good insights that I think will help you along the way too. But this is just really coming from a place of wanting to continue to be very authentically clear about where I am, because I can talk and share about certain things, certain topics, but ultimately it's about relationships with each other. I feel like that's what's really going to awaken each other is each other. And so the more that we can be really raw and real with each other, the more that's going to catalyze, because right now in this world of, social media culture, it's all about the persona, and the persona is the most valuable thing, and the persona is fake. And so we need to be real so that we can find each other in this place of true reflection of who we are, so that we can have a beacon to look to and to reflect with, to ignite each other. So that's really important. And maybe I'll start there. Maybe I'll start with social media. Interesting, China's releasing a new social media that is actually a social currency. So you're rated and ranked by your interactions with other people, by, I don't know exactly how it works, but like how cool you are, and you can get like thumbs up, thumbs down, and like it will actually become a way of engaging with people in everyday life. And to me, that's insane, right? But at the same time, that's kind of what we're already doing, especially via social media. And so whether we're aware of it or not, and I'm going to get into the I, I'm going to get into me here, because I think that's an important part, not just talking like vaguely. That social media aspect is what is showing the valuation of people and things and businesses. Now, this has been, I've been so fascinated in social media since it came out, really, because I'm from that generation. Like, I started college the second Facebook came out, and I was doing college papers on researching the subject and how it interacts with us and how it changes us. And one of the great things is that it's made us trust people and not trust businesses and corporations, which is a really good thing, because we're like, we need people trusting people is a really healthy thing. But then when the people have now become businesses and we have become these personas, then there's this melting, which integration is good, but there's this melting between agenda of business and agenda of person, and this social valuation, say in China, is like, whoa, that's just too much. So how this ties in to you, to me, is in Sergio Magaña's work, he talks about this idea that to actually become lucid, which means becoming aware, becoming conscious within the dream. And the dream can be your sleeping dream, but the dream is also this conscious reality, right? So we're waking up. How do we wake up? If we're attached to the identity, to our actual, definitely physical identity, but also our egoic identities, there's no way to become lucid. So there's like a correlation between having identity with our physical face and not being able to wake up. And if you've noticed, this is like the age of selfie culture, right? This narcissistic craziness where it's okay for us to just like be looking at ourselves all the time. And that's a mirror, that's a reflection of kind of where our consciousness has come to. And there's this momentum and this propulsion with the way that social media is actually designed to keep you locked and engaged, because your right social value comes from this valuation of your identity. So the more you put your identity out there and grandize it, the more value you get, which can result in actual financial value. So it's a really whacked up thing, because it's weaving us deeper into the necessity of identity. And the necessity of identity is very dangerous because that doesn't enable us to awaken. So where does that leave me? So the thing that's been interesting for me is this momentum of social media, this momentum and current of media, of the world, of the pace. The rhythm of human culture is very different than I think our innate natural rhythms. And I'm finding this, and I'm coming up against a block. And I've been in this place for about a couple months now, because I'm like, okay, I'm needing to go back in. I'm needing to come back into myself. And this feeling, this whisper is getting louder and louder. And this whisper is coming from spirit. This whisper is coming from my ancestors. And my ancestors don't always mean past. They mean future. They mean like our higher starlit selves, saying it's time to come back in. It's time to come home. And coming home means to come back within myself. And this feeling, this is an intrinsic part of who I am, who everyone is, but who I am. And I've had this really strong connection to this voice since I was young. And that has been my guiding support to make me remember what my mission is and what I'm here to do. And so there's times where this voice, I drown it out, by like egoic living, in different phases of life, and then it comes back. It can't be put out. It is the spirit. It is the fire of who I am, of who we are, of our true divine connection. And this beautiful light-filled energy is just, it's taking me over in a really good way. It's like, okay, Bridget, come on, come back. And how that looks, such as in shamanic cultures, right? Any culture that had spiritual value would allow people, everyday people, as well as the spiritual teachers of the tribe, to go on, to go to the hill, a vision quest in Native American tradition, to go up to the mountain, to receive wisdom, to receive the downloads that needed to come through for the collective from this higher place, and then bring it back down to the village. Now, the thing that is challenging for me and the place that we're at is this was valued, this rhythm, right? And it's also echoed by the rhythms of our journey and the rhythms of nature, absolutely. I'm big on that. And there was time and there was space for it. And I feel like one of the things the Matrix holds to be aware of is this perpetual pace that's insane, that's exponential. Like, it will not stop. It's this like beast, whatever it is, like the media, the input, the content, and only by stepping out of it is ironically how we can get the downloads, the new frequencies to go to the next level. Now, there's a beauty because there's been an infiltration by people waking up that are putting their information, their frequencies out to the people, right? To each other. Every one of you are putting that information out. If you put that on Facebook, what you're going through, and it's catalyzing awakening within each other. So we need to be exposed to each other to awaken each other. I truly know that. And through that catalyzation of being with each other, it goes to the next level too. So right now you can be watching this video and get certain insights, get certain downloads, and that's the beauty of technology. It's like, yes, we don't even have to be there in person, but being there in person. I had an interview with someone and the other day, and I was talking about this, and it's like, well, what's one of the quickest ways to ignite your experiences of, say, contact or past life memories? It's by being in proximity, physical proximity of someone. just being in their field ignites that awakening. So one of the things that's a side note is I'm like catalyzing for more in-person connection, which is why I truly continue to get excited about doing retreats, so that I can be with people in person, and how we can come together in community, how I can get activated by you guys, which I do. So that's really important to me. But going back to this rhythmic idea, this rhythmic principle, really. It's a principle. Like it's if we're not aware of it, we're really missing something. And so this is what this spirited voice is propelling me to hear and to heed. And so in this place, I'm needing to go to the hill. I'm needing to go to the mountain. And in my case, it's a volcano called Haleakala up behind me that is the most that is absolutely precious, this dimensional gate. It's amazing, and there's so much there. And she's like, come to me, let me teach you, let me share with you, so that you can disseminate this information. And she is the heart of Earth. And there are many other places, you guys have asked, on Earth also transmitting that heart frequency, from Bali to Ireland. But particularly this space is very pure and very high. So it's this ushering for me to do that. And so what I'm up against then at this point is the last hold, say, that the Matrix has on me, which is ironically my connection to you, which is social media. And it is part of the Matrix. Now, it is a way that we can spread information to wake up within the Matrix. That's why we're hackers, and it's great. But at the same time, we become enslaved to it, especially as content creators and as content digesters. So it's really important to be aware of that. The big thing to understand is that I'm in this for the long haul. Okay, I'm in this incarnation for at least the next 150 to like 200, 300 years. So I'm in this long term. And if I'm in this long term, that means that the level of cycles, this rhythm I'm talking about, needs to operate in accordance with that. Because if you're going to have the strength and the fire to keep going, year after year, then that means that the yin is required. Say based on Chinese medicine, you need the yin, you need the kidney juice to renew. Because if the water is not there, then the fire will burn it out, and you'll just fall. So this idea of this building is really important. And I just went personally through my Saturn return. And Saturn returns are real, by the way. Very, very powerful, and just bringing up all of the stuff that you need to look at, and just refinement. And how that looked for me was working my ass off. I mean, it might not seem like I work hard, because it's like, oh, she's on some red rocks climbing around. I work at least 50, 60 hours a week, because there is no off button, again, because of the social media and also this push within me of what is needed, for the world. And so this was part of my Saturn return theme. So coming out of years of intense personal, interpersonal work in community, deep work and physical work output of content, it's gotten me to this place where I've just completed that cycle, and now I'm like, oh, and I'm tired. And I'm also in this place of hearing spirit saying, it's time to go in. It's time to go to the next level. And so heeding that call, feeling that natural rhythm is important for all of us. And so however that natural rhythm looks for you, making sure to turn off everything online and feel what your rhythm is. What is your natural rhythm? Because we need to be around for the long haul. And I was in an interview recently, and we were talking about how I think that everyone thought December 21st, 2012, that was it. And then everyone would just awaken, and it would be woo, it's over within a few years and the world changes, you know. And it's not happening that way. It is absolutely changing, and it's changing fast. But the amount of change is infinite, like, of the ways that we can expand in just this incarnation, just as humanity, just on Earth. It's absolutely astounding. And that's why I'm like, dude, I want to be around for the next 200 to 300 years to experience this, and also to guide the ship. And so I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on here. And so in this space of guiding the ship, there are many others, of course, in this spiritual space guiding the ship. And I love it so much because we're up against, or we're competing against, right? David Wolf says this, like, how he's competing against, like, macaroni and cheese, and, like, alcohol. And he's like, how do I make people want mushroom tinctures? And he's like, oh God, I've got to make this, like, really interesting, you know? So it's kind of like that with what I'm doing, with what we're doing in the spiritual community. It's like, how do we make talking about the natural rhythmic cycles of this incarnation as exciting as, like, Kim Kardashian's ass and, like, Donald Trump's whatever, you know? It's one of those things. How do you make it as exciting? And there's things like, because it is exciting, inherently it is, expansion is extraordinary, and so it has that inherently in it. So it's funny, and the spiritual community goes in different ways. You can use the law of attraction to manifest a new car, you know, and so it can go in that direction, to be like, okay, let's motivate on the physical level, and then it's like, hey, you can become super blissed out and, like, ecstatic, and it's true, but it's like, that's another sales point. So it's kind of like we're having to sell spirituality, you know, and it's kind of funny in that way. But it's really important, especially getting to these, like, bigger audiences. And this is where I'm at, is to really check myself, to really go, am I delivering as authentically as possible? Am I going to the hill and mountain and receiving, like, the clearest, cleanest wisdom? Am I sharing the downsides where it's not that perfect? Like, all of this is critical to share. And this social identity, this valuation, can get convoluted and tied up, because it's like, we as, you know, content creators in this category, one of the ways of competing is to become a pseudo celebrity. And you see this, and it's like, then if you're a spiritual celebrity, then you have an identity attachment, which then makes them, like, the kind of guides of this, unable to awaken to deeper levels. And so I'm like, okay, I'm in this place where it's going up, as you can see, and I'm like, okay, I can get to 100,000 subscribers, and I will, you know, in the next year or two. But the most important part is awakening. The most important part is for me to be on course. And if it's an or, like, it's like, oh, if my priority is something external, whether it is from good motivations of getting this word out to more people, or if it isn't, to get a higher following, it's like, what is the priority? And the priority is me doing my work and awakening, and then transmitting whatever comes through to assist others. That's the priority. And so part of the trickiness of that, on the technological side, is the matrix hold that social media has created for all people, and the game that it's created. And it's one of the holds that it has, say, like, on me. So the idea is if I went to the mountain and I stopped, you know, doing videos for a month or something, or two, it goes, like, the algorithm completely changes, all the momentum goes away, and I would need to restart the whole train engine to get going again, to get everything going. And then there's the social valuation of consistency, which I think is very important, because that's part of why I'm saying this, is I am going to be consistent for hundreds of years, because it's so important for that stability and that reflection of something and someone to like look to. And I'm looking for that. It's like, okay, what are some reflections of people creating beauty, creating goodness, creating true change physically, energetically, that I can look to help continue to inspire me. I need that. And I actually was watching, I clicked on Preston Smiles' Instagram story today, and he was my catalyst for inspiration today. And he was talking about in these moments where you're kind of like, oh, I'm like a little bit tired and a little bit, just kind of beat down. The inspiration isn't there. It's like, dude, what did our ancestors go through? What did my younger self go through, having to go through the school system? What do I want for my kids? Like, who do I want to be? We need people to look to. And so these moments where it's like, oh, bogged down, is real, and it needs to be addressed and honored. And this is where the cycles come in. It's not, say, depression, or it's not just like you've given up. It's this place of needing to go in, where you're decompressing, honestly, into yourself, to go in and to renew and to then come back out. So you get where I'm going with this. The point is, few things. One, hack, okay? Become hackers of this like social matrix, the social media matrix, with different people disseminating spiritual information. So make sure that you like their videos, you subscribe to their videos, you even just like watch their whole videos all the way through. Those kinds of things can help this kind of information get out to a wider audience. Now, as I've been going through this, I had this thing, and I'm like, I think I'm just gonna stop making videos and like get off of social media for like a couple months. Like, I was really feeling that. And then what I started to do is I got this app called Cold Turkey. It's fantastic. And so it can just pretty much lock you out of any social media site. Because the thing is I'm on there all the time because I'm like sharing things or like seeing what's going on and stuff, but it's not healthy because I need to go back in to receive like really good information. So the good news is I don't think I'm gonna have to go as drastic for my volcano to the mountain experiment of going inside. So I will continue making videos. I might not be on for a certain week or something, but just know that I'm there. Just know that I'm in there in the mountain, getting new information. If you don't see me, be like, yes, and that's the idea, is to encourage this idea of oh, I don't know, being in the real world, encourage it. Being in this real world, like the physical dimension, so there's that. So the idea is I'm just gonna really go with what's essential. Patrick talks about this. I think he has a video about it. But what's actually essential versus non-essential. I will be back definitely with more videos, but I will definitely be going in. Now, the inward process is something, honestly, that takes some time for it to gestate. It is this precious little chrysalis of a butterfly just about to expand, and if shared too early, if your spiritual experiences are shared too early, they can't get hold from the spiritual realm into this realm within your own frequency, within your own auric field, to the degree sometimes that they need to. And so it's funny because it's like, oh, something comes through, want to share it, something comes through, want to share it, and actually giving some time and space, again, this like rhythm to make sure it comes to full fruition is really important. So what that means is, as I go in and as I go to these deeper levels, you might not immediately see me talking about that and like being like, okay, here's the update, because I'm letting it brew, I'm letting it ferment within myself so that it can really land. And this is one of the things that's very interesting when it comes to siddhas, right? Siddhas like levitation, teleportation, the different spiritual abilities that are awesome that come up, is when people share them too early with other people, probably from an egoic reason, the siddha actually transfers to the other person. Oops. And so it's one of those things that it makes sure that it's fully within you before it's shared. Thus, some of the things I'm actually most excited to share about, which feel very essential to me, are about health, and about detoxification, and about food, and about relationships. The things on this everyday plane of existence that are actually incredibly spiritual, incredibly sacred, incredibly important. They might not be as novel as an alien, contact experience, but they're really important for this awakening. So that's where a lot of these videos are going to go over the next few months. And in the meantime, know that there's something else in here. And notice if you can see it in me, if there's any changes. I will come out with what's going on. But it's just going to come out in my own time so that it's really solidified within me, so that I can be a pure transmitter of that for you. So that's where I'm at. And I really appreciate you watching this, because this was a different kind of video. And it'll be interesting if you ended up watching this for the full duration. Because it was kind of a lot. But I think that there's some real gems that you can apply to your own life. And again, I want to just be really real with where I'm at. Because we're in this together as real people, and not just these like personas. And yes, so that's where that's at. And if you want to continue supporting me, that would be amazing. And I haven't talked a lot about like what I guess my grander visions are. I mean, a lot of you know it through community and stuff that I've talked about in past years, but I do have some pretty grand, beautiful visions coming down the pipe with any way that you guys support me. So it's going to be going to good causes. So if you want to continue to support the making of these videos through Patreon, go check out my Patreon, and you can donate and get different gifts and stuff. Come to my retreats. Come meet me in person. Like, come meet the other people in person. They're profound. I'll have 2 in Sedona this year. One's in April. It's already more than halfway full, so go check that out. I might, first hint, be doing one in California this summer, so stay tuned for that. And what else? And the hybrid course is freaking awesome, by the way. There's a ton of really good content in it. And if you're a Patreon donor and you pay with crypto and a few different things, you can get it quite affordably. So I really suggest, if you're into the hybrid thing, to go check it out, because I put like everything I know into it, and everyone that's in the course right now is like, whoa, there's so much here. Like, it's going to take a long time to complete because there's so much value in it. And I'm going to continue doing courses like that so that I can put out this information to assist you and also support myself in the meantime. People sometimes have issues with spiritual people making money. And I didn't know that I was going to be talking about this right now, but I guess this is my vlog, so I can talk about whatever I want. But spiritual people, and it's not like spiritual people, it's like, okay, people selling things that are spiritual shouldn't make money because you're not supposed to get money for spiritual things. There's like that belief. And I think that that is true from different cultural perspectives. When the culture was that everyone supported each other in the tribe, and like the medicine man or the shaman or the healer, they would be taken care of by the tribe. So then, hence, that actually is currency, which in this modern day is money. So they would be supported. I mean, if people just wanted to bring me like 50 coconuts and like I can just live on those coconuts for a month, that would be fine. Like, I will take all forms of currency. But this idea of really supporting people that are going to do good things for the world is critical, because I'll probably do a whole video on this, but for those of you that have stuck around, you guys just get to hear it first. But the idea is like, think about it. You pay every day, unless you have an electric car off the grid, which I do, see, because I'm working on this. You pay towards the destruction of Earth with every gas tank you fill up. You know, with every like polyester clothing you buy. Like, so it's like, so we're giving our money to the banks, we're giving our money to the oil companies, or we're not. See, this is the point. So why wouldn't someone that is then with the true mission and the true vision, working on assisting the world, not be taken care of? Again, this is like a strange thing, right? That doesn't make sense. So it's most important, I think, for people doing good for the world, not just in a spiritual category, but in an ecological category, in any kind of new system. Those people need to be supported. And by supporting them with the old money from the old system, they will get the system set up to pull you out of the matrix. Like, that is one of my goals, is to help pull people out of the matrix, not just like set myself up and be like, thanks for all your cash, see you later. No, I'm like, okay, how can we set this up? How can we set these systems up so that everyone can be liberated, so that everyone can be sovereign? First step, take care of yourself. So I have to make sure that like I'm sovereign, and then I can help everyone else be sovereign. And we just have to do this like in this certain way. But definitely just watch where your money's going. Like, who is it going to? And that's one of the reasons, as I do some of these health and eco videos coming up, I'll give you guys the opportunity to know how you can put your money, say, in a better place. It's really important to support, even if it's businesses that are doing good things, because again, this program of like, okay, well, I'm just going to give it to charity. Okay, a lot of the charities are doing weird shit with the money, but okay, charity is amazing, but how about people also that are creating industrious things in a good, holistic, ecological fashion, right? That's great too. That needs to be supported as well. So looking at it from that perspective. There's a lot here, as you can see, a lot to talk about, a lot to be shared. Most of all, I just appreciate you. And thank you for being here and listening to me. It's weird, like, if I think about it in that way, it's so crazy that anyone would even just like listen to me talk. But I really just, appreciate your presence. I appreciate your guys' support. You guys have been so supportive of me. Like, I don't get any weird people saying stuff. I mean, sometimes those like Christian comments like on like the alien YouTube videos, but other than that, like, it's all really positive and I really appreciate it. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will continue to be around and yet away simultaneously. And so thank you. And of course, if you like these videos, to help perpetuate more good content in the spiritual realm, like, share, comment, do all of those things to help the algorithm of these kind of videos, this kind of content, get out there to the world. So thank you, and I'll see you next week with another video.